Well, he suffered a stroke earlier this year, but because of recent changes in the stroke guidelines, Yano of IAEA made a remarkable recovery.
And as Island News reporter Melody Gonzalez shows us, the treatment he received saved his life. He's a beautiful survivor.
It's a win for any attorney when a ruling's in their favor. Yano's a lawyer, and when his health took a turn for the worse in February, rulings that followed were wins that were life-saving.
There's so many components that had to kind of fall into place for everything, to work out.
Valentine's Day 2018. His memory of that day is still a blur. Yano suffered a stroke in his sleep.
I must have tried to get up and then, not gotten very far.
The week before, he had surgery on his leg, so his parents stopped by that morning to check in on him.
They found me on the floor next to the bed. When they tried to get me back on the bed, I think they noticed my speech was slurred.
When I saw him, I knew this guy is having a major stroke.
Not long after he was admitted into Palimomi Medical Center, doctors confirmed his worst nightmare. What happened 12 hours earlier was indeed a life-threatening stroke.
It just seems so surreal because I totally wasn't expecting that, and it was just kind of a shock.
You see Rod's picture, it's completely blocked right here.
As luck would have it, just a month before that happened, the American Heart and Stroke Association upgraded guidelines, increasing the time a patient's eligible for treatment from 6 to 24 hours.
It was just a matter of weeks that could have made a big difference.
Based on new guidelines, what doctors did next produced a series of wins for Yano, preventing permanent damage, even death.
We saw that there was confirmation of a large stroke or a large clot. We knew we had to take the next step to transfer him for thrombectomy.
It was Dr. David Nguyen's call to immediately transfer Yano to Queens Medical Center to receive emergency surgery, removing his blood clot.
His facial droop actually got better. His speech got better.
Only 3 days after his stroke, not only was Rod discharged, but he walked out under his own power.
Just very fortunate, very lucky, and very thankful for all the care that I got.
Fast forward just a few months, Yano's back in the office and back on the field.
Able to, still be a part of my son's life and, coach his soccer team. Maybe I don't yell at them as much.
As Rod reflects today,
it's pretty sobering.
He's grateful, living life, he says, one day at a time. With an altered diet, he hopes to prevent another stroke from ever happening again.
It's kind of like another chance, I look at it, when you consider all of the possible negative outcomes that could have occurred.
By sharing his story, Yano hopes that it raises awareness and reminds others how to quickly detect a stroke.
We always tell our patients to look for, to recognize the word fast. F meaning face, if there is a facial droop. A meaning arm weakness, if there is arm weakness on one side or arm drift. Speech, meaning slurred speech, speech changes, and T, time to call 911.
People should, I think, be aware of, those things and recognize it because who knows what would happen.
Yano is a beautiful survivor. Melody Gonzalez, Island News.
And just to think that those guidelines were changed just a month before that happened.
It's a big gap, though, from 6 to 24 hours. Mm-hmm. And as it me, that doctor looks like he's still a youngin'.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You're looking so young these days.